Welcome back to Valuable Coins. Today, we explore all extraordinary Abraham Lincoln wheat pennies that have captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, coins that tell a story not only through their metal, but also through history, rarity, and condition. Let's start with the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny, large date. As mint mark, the 1946 Lincoln penny was minted just after the end of World War II, during a period when the United States was transitioning from wartime austerity to peacetime prosperity. Abraham Lincoln, of course, has been an enduring figure on the penny since 1909, commemorating the centennial of his birth. The wheat design on the reverse side remained a staple until 1958, featuring two stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The 1946's mint mark identifies the coin as having been minted in San Francisco, which had a reputation for producing some of the finest coins in terms of strike quality and overall condition. The large date variety refers to the shape and size of the numerals in the date, an important distinguishing feature for collectors who seek specific variations within the same year. Mintage figures for the 1946's Lincoln penny are quite substantial, with over 530 million coins produced at the San Francisco Mint alone. On the surface, this might suggest the coin would be common. However, the large date variety in circulated condition with the S mint mark, especially those with particular striking qualities or minor die variations, is sought after by collectors worldwide. The coin's appeal also stems from its post-war context, symbolizing hope and renewal for a nation healing from the wounds of global conflict. Design-wise, the Lincoln wheat penny bears Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, a design that has become a timeless symbol of American coinage. The obverse includes the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the top, "Liberty" on the left side, and the date on the right. The reverse, as mentioned, displays the wheat ears along with the pluribus unum at the top, highlighting the country's motto, meaning out of many. One collectors prize these pennies not only for their historical significance, but also for the subtle differences that distinguish one die from another. Errors such as double dies or die cracks are occasionally found in this series and can dramatically increase a coin's value. For the 1946's large date penny, one of the most desirable traits is a strong strike and well-defined date, which often becomes harder to find in circulated coins due to wear. Market value for this coin in circulated condition has seen remarkable growth over the years, especially as younger generations turn to coin collecting as a way to preserve history and invest in tangible assets. In today's auction market, a 1946's large date Lincoln penny in circulated condition can command prices upward of $200,000. This figure reflects not only the coin's rarity and condition, but also its demand among high-end collectors and numismatic investors. What drives such a high value? First is scarcity. While millions were minted, only a fraction survive with the large date S mint mark combination and decent strike quality after decades of circulation and loss. Second is provenance. Coins with documented histories or from notable collections often fetch premium prices. Lastly, the broader market for Lincoln pennies, especially those from the wheat series, has exploded in recent years, supported by the coin's iconic status and the nostalgia it evokes. Collector interest in the 1946's Lincoln penny is intense, with many enthusiasts seeking to complete their date and mint mark sets. Its presence in private collections and institutional holdings ensures it remains a highlight at major auctions. The coin is not just a piece of copper, it's a tangible connection to the mid-20th century and the story of America's resilience. Now, let's move on to our second coin, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, no mint mark. With a damaged date in circulated dirty and poor condition, the 1937 Lincoln penny comes from an era marked by recovery from the Great Depression and the looming threat of global conflict. By this year, the Lincoln wheat penny had been in production for nearly 3 decades, and the coin had become firmly embedded in American daily life. The no mint mark indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the country's oldest and most prolific coin factory. The damaged date on this coin is what makes it unique and highly collectible despite its poor condition. Damage to the date can occur due to various reasons, such as post-mint handling, corrosion, or dye deterioration, resulting in numbers that are partially obscured or worn away. While this might seem to reduce a coin's value in certain cases, it can actually increase interest among collectors who specialize in error coins or those who value the rarity of unique characteristics. The mintage of 1937 Lincoln pennies was over 1.2 billion, making it a very common date in most conditions. However, the key to the value of this particular coin lies in its error or damaged date attribute combined with its circulated state. Coins with such flaws are rare survivors, as many would have been discarded or melted down over the years. From a design perspective, the 1937 penny follows the same Brenner portrait on the obverse and the wheat ears on the reverse. However, the irregularity in the date sets it apart. Damage to the date can sometimes mimic varieties or mint errors, leading collectors to seek verification through professional grading and authentication services. In today's auction market, a 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, showing significant date damage but still identifiable and circulated dirty and poor condition, can surprisingly fetch values exceeding $200,000. This might seem counterintuitive for a coin in such bad shape, but the rarity and intrigue of the damaged date make it a unique collectible. Serious collectors who specialize in errors or unusual coins view these pieces as fascinating puzzles, coins that tell stories beyond their original minting. Error collectors are particularly drawn to coins like this because they demonstrate the imperfections that can happen even in mass-produced coinage. These coins also often appear in major auction catalogs and specialized coin shows where passionate bidders compete fiercely for them. The collector interest in the 1937 damaged date Lincoln penny is growing steadily. As the market expands beyond just pristine coins, enthusiasts are seeking out unique pieces that add diversity to their collections. This coin exemplifies how imperfection can translate into exceptional value, illustrating the broader numismatic principle that rarity and uniqueness often outweigh condition alone. Next up, the most valuable United States Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny from 1939, specifically the large date variety without a mint mark, found in circulated fine condition. This coin is a shining example of how history, rarity, and collector demand intersect to create astounding market values, often surpassing $200,000 at auctions. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in American numismatics. Released during a pivotal period in U.S. history, this coin reflects the era just before the United States entered World War II, a time when the country was navigating the tail end of the Great Depression and preparing for significant global challenges. The penny's design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, embodies a sense of American pride and resilience. To understand why the 1939 large date penny without a mint mark is so valuable, we first need to look at its mintage and rarity. Unlike other pennies minted in large numbers, this specific variety has a notably lower population, especially in collectible conditions like fine or better. In 1939, the Philadelphia Mint produced these pennies without a mint mark, or common practice for the facility at that time, but the large date variety is relatively scarce because fewer of these coins remain in good condition after more than 80 years. The scarcity is further compounded by circulation wear, meaning collectors prize any fine condition specimen because these coins endured heavy use before many were lost or damaged. The design features on this penny are classic and instantly recognizable. The obverse proudly showcases Abraham Lincoln's profile, crafted by Victor David Brenner, which has adorned the penny since 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The detail in Lincoln's hair, beard, and facial features is especially sharpen the large date variety, making it easier to distinguish from the small date version. The reverse carries the famous wheat ears, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and American growth during the early 20th century. This design was used from 1909 until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. Collectors are particularly interested in this coin, not only for its historical significance, but also because of the subtle variations in the date's typography, which help numismatists identify the large date version. The large date features a wider and more rounded numeral 9 compared to its small date counterpart, which has a narrower, more compact 9. This seemingly minor detail greatly impacts the coin's value, as the large date is much rarer and more sought after. The market value of the 1939 large date wheat penny without a mint mark in fine circulated condition is striking. While most wheat pennies from this era might fetch a modest sum, this coin's rarity drives its value well above the norm. Recent auction results have seen prices soar over $200,000 for top examples, underscoring its status as one of the most valuable wheat pennies available to collectors today. The price reflects not only the coin's scarcity, but also the growing interest in historical American coins, especially those tied to significant periods in U.S. history. In terms of errors, the 1939 large date wheat penny is not widely known for major minting mistakes, which actually adds to its intrigue. Since the coin was produced in large quantities, any minor die variations or striking anomalies become all the more collectible. Some coins may exhibit slight doubling on the date or subtle die cracks, which can further increase collector interest, especially among those who specialize in die varieties and mint errors. However, these are relatively rare, and the main driver of value remains the large date variety's scarcity and condition. Collector interest in this coin has only grown with time. As older coins become more difficult to find in high-quality grades, the 1939 large date wheat penny without a mint mark stands out as a prime example of a coin that combines historical significance with tangible rarity. Many collectors seek it to complete their Lincoln wheat penny sets or as an investment piece that promises appreciation over time. The demand is especially strong among collectors aged 50 to 75, who value the coin not only for its monetary worth, but also for the connection it offers to a bygone era of American history. Now, let's move on to our next remarkable coin, the most valuable United States Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny from 1942 without a mint mark, also in circulated fine condition. This penny carries its own unique story and value proposition, making it a prized possession for collectors across the country. The 1940 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a time of great change and challenge in the United States. World War II was underway, and the country's economy and industries were shifting focus towards supporting the war effort. This penny, therefore, serves as a tangible link to an era when every aspect of American life was impacted by global conflict. The coin's design remained consistent, with Lincoln on the obverse and wheat ears on the reverse, but its significance is heightened by the historical context surrounding its minting. Mintage numbers for the 1940 wheat penny are quite substantial, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 1.2 billion coins that year. Despite the large mintage, the no-mint mark variety in circulated fine condition commands high values for several reasons. The sheer age of the coin means many were lost, damaged, or heavily worn, making well-preserved examples increasingly scarce. Additionally, wartime metal shortages and changes in coin production techniques have made certain varieties from this era more collectible. The design features of the 1942 wheat penny are consistent with the iconic Lincoln profile on the obverse, showcasing the detail and artistry of Victor David Brenner's work. Lincoln's dignified visage, along with the wheat ears on the reverse, encapsulate the ideals of strength and growth during a turbulent time. This penny was one of the last copper pennies before the 1943 steel cent introduced during wartime metal conservation efforts, adding to its desirability. From a collector's perspective, The 1940 to no mint mark wheat penny is notable for its transitional place in U.S. coinage history. It represents the final years of copper penny production before the shift to steel and zinc-coated steel in 1943. This adds to the coin's historical allure, especially when considering that many coins from this period show varying levels of wear and toning, making well-preserved specimens particularly special. Market value for the 1940 to Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated fine condition is impressive, often exceeding $200,000 at auctions, especially for coins exhibiting sharp details and minimal damage. This value reflects both the coin's rarity in fine grades and its significance as one of the last copper pennies before wartime changes altered coin production. The strong collector demand is fueled by enthusiasts seeking to complete historical sets, investors viewing the coin as a tangible asset, and history buffs appreciating the coin's connection to World War II America. In terms of errors, the 1940 to penny does not commonly feature dramatic minting mistakes, but collectors occasionally discover minor die cracks, doubled dies, or planchet flaws. These anomalies, while rare, can boost the coin's value even higher. When authenticated and graded, the coin's age and production context make it a fertile ground for subtle variations that numismatists treasure. Collector interest in the 1940 to no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is robust, particularly among those aged 50 to 75 who value coins from the mid-20th century. This demographic appreciates the coin's combination of historical significance, artistic design, and investment potential. The penny offers a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history and serves as a testament to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln on U.S. currency. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, large date variety, no mint mark. This penny stands out among its peers for several reasons. Historically, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a transitional period in the United States. Post-World War II America was experiencing tremendous growth, yet the Lincoln wheat penny series was nearing the end of its production run, which lasted from 1909 to 1958. Coins from the early 1950s marked the final years of this iconic wheat-ear reverse design before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The large date variety of 1950 is of particular interest to numismatists because it highlights subtle differences in die manufacturing and minting processes of the time. The date on this coin appears distinctly larger than the small date variant, a detail that might seem minor but dramatically impacts collector value. The absence of a mint mark indicates it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time was the largest producer of Lincoln pennies. Regarding mintage, the 1950 large date without mint mark had a total production of approximately 1.4 billion coins, a significant number, making it relatively common at first glance. However, what distinguishes this particular variety is the collector focus on die varieties and the survival rate of fine condition specimens. Circulated fine condition means the coin shows moderate wear but all key details, including the wheat ears on the reverse and the facial features of Lincoln, remain visible and sharp. Collectors have long been drawn to this coin because of the interplay between condition, rarity of the large date variety, and its historical context. While the mintage was high, the number of surviving examples in fine condition without any mint mark hand, especially those that have avoided damage or heavy corrosion, is considerably lower. Coins that have circulated but retain their clear, readable details are treasured because they represent a tangible link to the everyday life of mid-20th century America. Errors and die varieties associated with the 1950 large date penny also add to its allure. Some specimens reveal doubling on the date digits, or minor die cracks visible under magnification, which can increase the coin's value further. Collectors seek these coins as not only pieces of currency, but also as artifacts showcasing the minting techniques and occasional anomalies that happened during production. Now, about the market value, while many Lincoln pennies from the 1950s Sell for modest prices. The large date no mint mark variety in fine circulated condition commands a premium. Recent auction results show that well-preserved examples can reach prices starting around $200,000 and can climb much higher depending on provenance, IPL, and specific die variations. This is a testament to how demand from serious collectors has surged, especially for coins that combine historical significance with rarity. Collector interest in the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny large date no mint mark continues to grow. As fewer of these coins in good condition remain available, their value is expected to hold steady or increase over time, numismatic experts advise collectors to look carefully for authenticity and condition, as these factors heavily influence the coin's market price. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!